how's it going? Good to see you. Oh, I screwed that up. I have 2 hands, they have 4. Welcome to 10-Minute Talk Show. It's a talk show that's 10 minutes length. I'm your dear host, Derek Fergie. What's going on? Hey. Oh my God, Ontario, you are so wet. What is happening out there? There's flooding everywhere, flooding all across the whole province, for God's sake. Even my hometown of Mattawa is underwater. It's very upsetting. But for those of you who need to sleep at night, good news, our premier is on it. Doug Ford is on it. You don't need to worry about it. He was even in Bracebridge. He said he was 1,000% the folks that had flooding. So that's good. That's a high number, Doug. Thing is, he's not really a numbers guy. I did some math because I graduated high school and college. Ooh! Yeah, and college. I'm technically overqualified to be premier. Let's move on. And that same week, he said he was supporting the folks of Bracebridge. He actually cut funding to flood prevention. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is good news. We officially have our paper towel throwing at hurricane victims moment. We did it! We did it! For all those who said we couldn't compete with American production values, we did it. Thanks, Doug. Good job, buddy. There you go. Speaking of success stories, let's meet one. We have one in the studio right now. He did a show 10 years ago, and that's kind of where we met. And he's bringing the show back 10 years later. It's called Cancer Can't Dance Like This. Please welcome Daniel. Daniel Stolfi. Daniel Stolfi. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
We left you simmering in a weird closet, kind of.
That's all right.
With a lamp. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Very good. So give us the elevator pitch on your fun show. You did it 10 years ago and it's back again. Tell us all about it.
So I did the show. Originally, I thought I was going to do it one night only at the Second City in Toronto, May 29th, 2009.
2009. Remember 2009?
Yeah, remember that? I was diagnosed with cancer.
You were?
Yeah, when I was 25 years old.
Yes.
Funny! So I decided to turn it into a comedy, a solo show. Planning on doing it one time only. And I ended up doing the show for 6 years, toured it across the country.
Amazing.
Helped raise $100,000 for cancer research and
won
the Canadian
$100,000
Comedy Award.
for cancer research? What?
The Canadian Comedy Award for Best One-Person Show.
Yeah.
Come on, but yeah.
He was the person, fun fact.
That's right. I was the person. Because there's only one.
Yeah.
And then, the 10-year anniversary was coming up, and I thought, well, do I just do the show again? Do I do nothing?
Right.
Or do I try to tell the story from the perspective of a cancer survivor 10 years later? So that's what I decided to do.
That's the one you did was the third one. Because that's what we wanted you to say.
What?
Yeah, exactly. So it's almost 10 years. It's 10 years minus a day.
Yeah.
Basically.
So May 30th, 2019, at the Great Hall.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So it's fun. You've taken this sort of tragedy, I guess, something that happened in your life. You turned it into a comedy. How is that being received by other folks who are going through the same thing that you are?
Initially I thought that I was taking a huge risk here. I could be offending a lot of people.
Sure.
But then I realized I went through it, so I was the most qualified person to tell this story. And a lot of people, they all resonated with it. A lot of positive response.
Sure.
I never had anybody come up to me and be like, man, that was offensive or anything, because I was telling my story from an authentic place.
Yeah, of course.
And I think that goes a long way.
Now, if I may ask, what I've found is that sometimes people are offended on other people's behalf. You find that happens a lot? Like, that seems to happen. Was there anybody who had not been diagnosed with cancer who gave you any flack about this, or like, you don't have the right? Has that ever happened?
You know what? It's happened from people who haven't seen the show.
That makes sense.
It would be like a lot like, how bad was it?
Right.
Is it really that bad? Because my father passed away, and I'm like, yeah.
Did they say it in that voice? Because that's way
exactly
worse. That's way worse.
It was a lot of this. A lot of judging, and I'm like, it was really bad. If I have to, justify myself. And tell the story. But also, I would also suggest come see the show.
I would concur.
And come tell me for yourself. But I think once you see how the comedy is, where it comes from, you'll see that.
Right.
Very honest.
So what's the biggest difference between the show 10 years ago and now? What's the biggest plot point that is different?
The biggest difference is that it's a reflection back. So these characters are all coming back. So I personified a lot of my characters, the attributes that I lost to the disease. So my hair, my sex drive, my strength, my appetite. I personify these attributes as characters. Now they're telling their story from 10 years later. They're back.
Right.
But they've changed, My hair came back, but there's hair in places that there wasn't before.
Oh,
like that kind of thing.
New hairs.
My appetite's back, but my wife makes me eat a lot healthier now. It's like that kind of stuff. So it's all in fun, and it's going to be a reflection piece. Also, that cancer never really leaves you, even once you're finished the treatment. you could be 10 years out, but it always stays with you.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. I can't relate to this personally,
relate.
but I'm still coming to the show either way.
Yes.
The show is Cancer Can't Dance Like This. It's happening the 30th at the Great Hall, right?
That's right.
If you found yourself in Toronto, Ontario, which is where we are, Great Hall, May 30th, and tell us where some of the money is going towards.
Yeah, so proceeds are going towards Young Adult Cancer Canada. It's an organization that helped me get through my treatment. It's like-minded. Cancer survivors 20 to 40 years old.
Yeah, they were good to you, and you're giving some money back to them, right? That's amazing. So go check out the show, and please support Daniel if you could. That's so good. Cancer Can't Dance Like This, buddy. Thank you so much. Great Hall. Let's go over here. Yeah, Daniel, that's what's happening. You see, Cancer Can't Dance Like This either. Ha! I'd like to introduce your next guest because we have another one of those. He is done Just for Laughs, and he's doing our show Just for Pizza. Please welcome Jay Freeborn, everybody! Hey, buddy! That's all for you. There you go.
Hello. I'm super excited to be here, mostly because I was told that if I was funny, they would give me my license plate back. So let's start this bad boy. I'm having a really big year, mostly because I just moved from out of a basement apartment. I now live above ground for the first time in my adult life. It's a very big deal for me. Thank you, one person. That's my mom. I hated the last apartment I lived in. It was underground, and the person who lived above me was a professional pianist. So all day, every day was just dun, 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 which I hated because it meant when I jerked off, I was doing so in like a haunted house. I did not like it. Also, my area was filled with like a lot of aggressive homeless people. Like no one was trying to attack me, but often people would come up to me and be like, "Hey, you look like ugly, evil Michael Bublé." And like I hadn't even done anything. It would be like a drive-by insult. And it was the first time I ever thought to myself, man, I wish I had homeless confidence. It was the first and only time. And like I need more confidence because when I was a kid, I was a fat kid. And I was a fat kid with a mushroom cut. Oh yeah, good job, mom and dad. Nothing like being a fat kid with a food-themed head. If I could go back, I'd be like, little Jay, get rid of the mushroom cut, go with the mullet. Because you ever see a fat kid with a mullet, you don't feel sad, you're just like, oh yeah, there's for sure no rules at his house. And here's the thing though, is that like, I think I'll be okay because I've been doing a lot of therapy, aka I have seen every episode of Queer Eye. That's what I've done.
Yeah.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's a reboot, it's called Queer Eye, it's a reboot of Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. So it's basically 5 gay men using their specialties to improve good people's lives. It's a great show. I love it especially because one of the things about it is it's the only TV show on right now where they're mean to people and it's good for them. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a very rare thing. But sometimes they go too far. Like there was this guy who was very self-deprecating. So they took the audio of him being mean to himself for the whole episode and they made him listen to it as he stared into a mirror.
Oh.
Wow, he's going to become a much better person when this torture is finished. Like what's happening? This isn't Queer Eye anymore. This is now Queer Eye for the Guantanamo Bay guy. What's happened? But the show is 5 gay men making good people's lives better. And the show I realize I really want to see is 5 gay men making bad people's lives worse. That's the show I want to watch. Because the average episode right now is basically, this is Jeffrey. He's a firefighter. We love him. We're going to build up his house, give him a new haircut, teach him how to make a honey cake, and introduce him to the love of his life. But the show that I want to watch is, hi, this is Matt. He's a white supremacist. We're going to burn down his house, shave off his eyebrows, cover him in honey, and introduce him to a hungry bear. Thank you guys so much. I've been Jay Freeborn.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
That's Jay. He does a show every Friday at the Underground, right?
That's
The
right.
Underground, it's called Friday Night Special. He's going to be there, and you're going to be there too. Jay Freeborn, one more time. Let me hear it, buddy. Yeah. That's how we do this thing. That's how we do this. Let's go over there. Let's hang out and eat pizza. I want you to give us your proper movie trailer voice. I want you to give a promo for a 10-minute talk show on the fly. Do what you can do with the mic. It's all you.
Okay.
Yeah, we got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, every Monday, a new episode of the 10-Minute Talk Show. Derek Forgy brings all that he can to... to whoever happens to be in the audience for free pizza that week. If there are any comedians in the area who aren't booked on something else, they'll be there too. But despite this announcement, I'm truly grateful to be here. I'm Jason DeLine on a better show somewhere. 10-Minute Talk Show.